engaging an imaginary enemy. The combined force of tanks, artillery and ground fire. Two countries united on the battlefield. South Korean air support covers for US Marines on the ground.
So the US military says that this kind of live fire drill is vital to make sure that they know how to cooperate, to communicate, to fight alongside their South Korean counterparts. So this is why this training happens throughout the year here in South Korea. Now, of course, they say that they don't have a specific enemy in mind whilst they're doing these drills. It's not necessarily how North Korea sees it.
U.S. Marines are always prepared for a fight. It doesn't really matter who's on there, and you know we do our best to not specify a particular enemy.
Pyongyang has called joint exercises radical and dangerous, proof of a hostile American policy intent on invading the North. But for the US 3rd Marine Division, if you don't train, you can't fight.
It's really there to build and strengthen that bond that we have with them. That way we have a common understanding for that combined arms approach to conflict. So it allows us to be able to shoot, move, and communicate across the battlefield wherever that battlefield may be at.
Two nationalities fight side by side, showing Pyongyang if you engage one, you fight both. Paula Hancock's CNN, Pohang, South Korea.
We had a vote yesterday on sanctions. We think it's just another very small step, not a big deal. Rex and I were just discussing, not big. I don't know if it has any impact, but certainly it was nice to get a 15-0 vote. But those sanctions are nothing compared to what ultimately will have to happen.
The American ambassador to the UN is calling the new UN sanctions levied against North Korea the, quote, strongest ever, and yet, in a way, they are more of the same. Let's explain. Financially, these sanctions will hurt the Kim Jong-un regime. Start with textile exports, now banned, currently reported to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars per year in revenue. Also, tens of thousands of North Koreans that work overseas will now eventually be sent home. The U.S. says the wages they send back to the regime total more than $500 million each year. And with natural gas imports now banned outright and refined petroleum imports capped at 2 million barrels a year, the regime will have a slightly harder time fueling its missile and nuclear ambitions.
We are done trying to prod the regime to do the right thing. We are now acting to stop it from having the ability to continue doing the wrong thing. We are doing that by hitting North Korea's ability to fuel and fund its weapons program.
But despite all of that, consider all that these sanctions don't do. A first draft from the United States called not just for a cap, but for an outright ban on all oil imports. It called for North Korean ships suspected of carrying illicit cargo to be inspected using all means necessary, including force. It called for an immediate ban on all North Korean overseas labor immediately, and it sought to blacklist Kim Jong-un himself, freezing his assets and restricting travel. Had they been approved, those sanctions would have had the power to have a potentially serious and immediate impact, and yet none of them made the final draft. If you're wondering why these didn't get passed, look no further than China and Russia. Both countries hold veto power on the Security Council, meaning nothing gets passed if they don't want it to. And both countries are skeptical that severe additional sanctions would make the tense nuclear standoff any better. Plus, China is North Korea's only major trading partner, trucks rumbling over the border each day, the regime's economic lifeline in convoy form. So the U.S. had to tone down its original wish list, perhaps betting that passing any sanctions are better than passing none at all. So where does that leave us? Well, we've got new sanctions in place. They're stronger than before. The U.S. says they'll immediately cut more than $1 billion of revenue for the regime. And yet, at the same time, doubts remain whether these incremental measures will be enough to force Kim Jong-un to stop what he's doing. Meanwhile, in a statement published in state media, North Korea's foreign ministry said that the new sanctions would, quote, cause the U.S. the greatest pain and suffering. Matt Rivers, CNN, Beijing.
Tonight, word that White House attorneys discussed Jared Kushner stepping down as senior advisor in the spring to protect the president during the Russia probe, according to sources. The Wall Street Journal first reported the development. The main worry, that Kushner was the advisor closest to the president, who had many contacts with Russian officials and business leaders during the campaign and transition.
The record and documents I have voluntarily provided will show that all of my actions were proper.
Kushner briefed Senate Intelligence Committee staff in late July about 4 meetings with the Russians, saying he spoke briefly with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak at D.C.'s Mayflower Hotel in April 2016 at Donald Trump's first foreign policy speech, met with Kislyak again at Trump Tower on December 1st, 2016 during the transition, met with Russian bank chairman Sergei Gorkov on December 13th, and attended the June 2016 meeting with a Russian lawyer and others arranged by Donald Trump Jr. at Trump Tower. Kushner hadn't disclosed the June 2016 Trump Tower meeting until his third amended security clearance form, where he ended up documenting more than 100 contacts with foreign officials. The idea of Kushner stepping down came up briefly in May, according to a source, and it was ultimately scrapped. The source said he had no knowledge if the president was apprised of the recommendation. Trump's lawyer, John Dowd, says, "I didn't agree with that view at all. I thought it was absurd. I made my views known." But the White House denied any discussions.
No conversation that I'm aware of, and certainly no presentation, as both the president's attorneys have gone on record to say.
Meanwhile, there are new reports on the role of Russia and Facebook in alleged election meddling. The Daily Beast reports that Russian operatives used fake Facebook accounts to promote political protests, like this anti-Muslim rally. Facebook tells the Daily Beast it eventually shut down the pages, and it's unclear if the events actually happened. Facebook did not reveal this days ago when it disclosed it sold about $100,000 worth of advertising to so-called Russian troll farms likely operated out of Russia during the election. Facebook eventually shut those accounts down.
We're seeing more evidence of additional ads and how they are used to manipulate individuals. I think there's one of the reasons why we need to bring in Facebook, Twitter, and others in some level of public hearing.
رجب طیب اردوغان با خواجه محمد آصف وزیر امور خارجه پاکستان دیدار و گفتگو کرد. این دیدار در مجتمع ریاست جمهوری بشتپه و پشت درهای بسته بدور از پرسش و پاسخ خبرنگاران صورت گرفته. به نظر می رسد محور گفتگوهای دو طرف پیرامون روابط دو کشور موضوع مبارزه با تروریسم و همینطور تحولات افغانستان باشد. پیش از این دیدار وزرای خارجه ترکیه و پاکستان هم با یکدیگر گفتگو کرده بودند. چاوشوغلو وزیر خارجه ترکیه در کنفرانس خبری مشترک با خواجه محمد همتای پاکستانی خود گفت ترکیه، افغانستان و پاکستان قصد دارند یک نشست سه‌جانبه پیرامون موضوعاتی نظیر مبارزه با تروریسم، امنیت و مسائل سیاسی برگزار کنند. اما کنفرانس خبری چاوشوغلو با همتای پاکستانی خود در لحظه‌های محل بحث و پرسش و پاسخ خبرنگاران پیرامون روابط ترکیه و آلمان و اختلافات اخیر دو کشور شد. خبرنگاری از چاوشوغلو نظر او را درباره سخنان آنگلا مرکل صدر اعظم آلمان و اینکه گفته شده آلمان به ترکیه سلاح نخواهد فروخت پرسید. وزیر خارجه ترکیه در پاسخ گفت ما یک ضرب المثلی داریم که میگوید همسایه بد مستاجر را خانه‌دار می‌کند. او گفت این گونه رویکردها در واقع باعث تقویت صنایع دفاعی و نظامی ترکیه می‌شود. چاوشوغلو گفت تولیدات ملی و بومی را در هر زمینه افزایش می‌دهیم و جنگنده و بالگرد خودمان را تولید می‌کنیم. در این حال عمر چیلک وزیر ترکیه در امور اتحادیه اروپا که به انگلیس سفر کرده به خبرنگاران گفته است ما از اتحادیه اروپا نمیخواهیم فاصله بگیریم، اما اتحادیه اروپا مانند سابق نیست و دچار مشکلات درونی بزرگی شده. او گفت اعضای PKK آزادانه در اروپا رفت و آمد می‌کنند، در حالی که ترکیه با مبارزه موثرش علیه تروریسم از مرزهای اروپا دفاع می‌کند. روزنامه ملیت هم از قول اردوغان می‌نویسد مخالفت ما با مردم آلمان نیست، بلکه با طرز فکر رهبران سیاسی این کشور است. در سوی دیگر در مرور تحولات اقتصادی ترکیه، خبرگزاری دولتی ترکیه آناتولی بر اساس آخرین گزارش مرکز آمار این کشور میگوید اقتصاد ترکیه در سال گذشته 2 برابر اقتصاد اروپا رشد داشته. این خبرگزاری می‌نویسد با توجه به اینکه اقتصاد 28 کشور عضو اتحادیه اروپا در 3 ماهه دوم امسال 2.4% رشد داشتند، اما اقتصاد ترکیه در همین دوره در مقایسه با مدت مشابه سال گذشته رشدی بیش از 2 برابر متوسط رشد اقتصادی کشورهای این اتحادیه را تجربه کرده است. اما در میان موج انتقادات و مخالفت برخی کشورهای اروپایی، ترکیه میگوید قرارداد خرید S-400 را با روس‌ها نهایی کرده. رجب طیب اردوغان رئیس جمهور ترکیه که از روسیه به عنوان کشور دوست نام میبرد میگوید قسط اول این خرید هم به دوستانمان پرداخت شده. این نخستین خرید تسلیحاتی مهم و بزرگ ترکیه تحت رهبری اردوغان از روس هاست. پروسه این خرید استراتژیک برای ترکیه کمتر از 1 سال طول کشید. حدود 7 ماه پیش آنها اقدام به خرید کردند و پس از جلب موافقت روس‌ها حال آنها نخستین قسط آن را برای تحویل این سامانه دفاعی پیشرفته پرداختند. این اقدام ترکیه از دید بسیاری نزدیک شدن هرچه بیشتر این کشور به روسیه و گامی دیگر در دور شدن از متحدان سنتی اروپایی خود است. روزنامه وطن هم می‌نویسد قسط اول برای خرید S-400 پرداخت شد.